here. What if you are the spark that ignites massive shifts in all humanity? I'm going to say it one more time. What if you are the spark that ignites massive shifts in all humanity? So write that down and we'll get back to that in a minute. So through my life, I've come to a conclusion that every single one of us, doesn't matter how old you are, where you live, what race you are, what religion, we share two things in common. We share this, and we share this. Does anyone want to know? Take a guess what those are?
Dots.
What?
Dots.
Well, they are dots, yes. You are so good. I think you should be a speaker. Not exactly, but in just a second. But go ahead.
Life and death.
You got it. So we all share a birth date, and we're not getting out of this alive. What makes us different and unique, and I'm a firm believer that you were brought here for a reason. You have purpose, and you have unique, divinely gifted talents. And I can't recite it verbatim, but in 1 James, there's a passage in Scripture that says that if you are not using your gifts, then you are dishonoring God. And I firmly believe that we were created in love, and therefore we are love, and there is no separation. So here we are, birthday. That's our timeline. So I'll tell you a little bit, we call them ticks on a timeline. So I'll explain a few of my ticks along my timeline thus far. So I was born August 9th, 1973, a little after 6 p.m. I was actually supposed to be born at the beginning of August, but as that just wasn't my deal. I just didn't think that that was the right time for me, right? And then my mother was in labor for 3 days with me. Now they probably would have taken me cesarean, but in the early 70s, they actually wanted to send her home on the 3rd day. My dad went out to the doctors and said, "Are you kidding me? You can't even touch my wife. She's so sore. She is staying." So finally, close to 6 o'clock, I'm deciding, all right, it's time to come into this world. I actually had to be turned around 3 times, so I wasn't born breech. My dad always would laugh throughout his lifetime. He's like, "We've been expensive since the beginning." But you know what? That was my timeline. That's when I wanted to come into this world, and that's when my soul and my purpose started, was August 9th, 1973, at a little after 6 p.m. Move forward to roughly like the 3rd grade. I was in a Christmas pageant, and I was one of the stable animals. I was the ram. And my parents tell this story, don't you just love it when your parents are at a dinner party and they're like, "Hey, tell them about my daughter." And, "Oh, please, Dad, don't share that." But I was in a Christmas pageant, I was the ram, and my parents sat out in the audience, And they watched all the other stable animals with their cutouts that the art teacher had designed for them. You know, the cow and the sheep and on and on. And they sat there listening to these other students singing their part, and they were like really timid. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous for her, I'm so nervous. Well, of course, the ram, she gets up there, she's like, whoa! They're like, they looked at each other and they went, we got something. She's got something to say. And I've had a lot to say since. Move forward, basic childhood stuff. I feel very, very fortunate to have grown up in a very loving home, a giving home. Fast forward, I was involved in everything. I was changing clothes in the back of the car, from dance lessons to piano lessons to the theater, all of that. But I went to college. And that little protective bubble that I had lived in with my parents was no longer in existence. I discovered freedom, and not the right kind of freedom. I discovered boys and alcohol. And I had a lot of fun. And in February, actually, it's interesting because I've been listening to different speakers, and I actually talked to another friend earlier how everything kind of coincides. And it dawned on me, here I am. I actually had never shared this on stage before. But you know what? Listening to all of those people, all of the other speakers, gosh darn it. I need to be vulnerable with you. I need to be honest with you. I need to tell my story. So it was February, I was 19 years old, February sorority party, and get in a car with my date that I was set up with. And we go driving. And I'm going down a dirt road in the middle of the country because I was trying to find this other place. I had been drinking. And another car came up on the hill, and I had a Blazer, and statistically they're heavy on the top, right? So I see this car, and I swerve to miss him, and there's this line of trees on the other side, so I swerve to miss that. I flipped the car 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I haven't even shared that with you. There's friends in this room that I haven't shared that with. I can still see the Blazer flipping end on end on end. We were heading this way, landed this way on the side, and I didn't know where my date was. Started screaming, etc., etc. Where are you? Well, thank God. We both came out of it alive, and all he had was a broken wrist and a piece of glass that cut his neck. But of course, there was a farmhouse, and I went screaming, I need help. Of course, the cops come, and I was below the BAC, but because I had an accident, they still arrested me. You guys, this time right here, I was protected. I didn't think that kind of stuff happened to girls like me. I'm a National Honor Society person. I'm a Gold Award recipient with Girl Scouts. This stuff doesn't happen. So what happened to me from that point on, I got lost, really lost. If boys and alcohol was, happening before, it really happened afterwards. I was stuffing my stuff down. Because I'm not the girl that does that. Shame. A lot of shame. I was afraid, my parents wanted to hire an attorney to help me with my court case, and I said, I don't want him from my hometown, because I don't want them to know. So I ended up getting volunteer hours, et cetera, and moved on from that. Got married, had a very beautiful boy. I know. And it changed my life. Because the other thing that I also have left out is that when this happened, before my trial, I was raped. I asked somebody to take me home, and he didn't take me home. That was within a week of the trial. So a lot was poured on me in a short amount of time, and it was devastating. And I didn't know what to do with it, and I got lost, like I said. But again, when I was pregnant with my son, it was the most amazing experience, because it helped heal me. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is what a woman's body is supposed to do. And I feel fortunate that I have this opportunity. And it helped heal me, because moving forward, didn't work out with his dad during some of our counseling sessions. I had shared that I felt like I had shed a skin from the rape and from the other things that had happened to me. And the counselor looked at me and he said, congratulations, Erin, you have just gone through the final step of healing. You've let go of the unconscious. And I owe it to being pregnant with my son, because it was a godly experience for me. Move forward a little bit. Did the dating thing, single mom stuff, started a jewelry business, was on both coasts, and people started reaching out to me, what is it about your jewelry? I feel so great when I wear it, and then they started asking me to speak, and they started just blah, blah, blah. And I got married a second time. You know why I got married a second time? Because I listened to what other people wanted me to do. Oh, you gotta marry the attorney and the little doctor and that whole. But what happened was, once we were married, I found that I was spending most of my time in an unfinished basement and designing jewelry. I had a beautiful home above me. I had fancy cars in the garage. But I spent most of my time in an unfinished basement, because my emotional needs were not being met. And that's actually, I'm known as the heart girl, you can see my hearts. That's actually when I started painting hearts, and I didn't know why, because I was designing jewelry over here, and then all of a sudden I was called to paint a heart. So I painted hearts. And it wasn't until I finally realized that it was not healthy for me or my son. And I left. And it was when I left, I went, oh, that's why I paint hearts. It's because I needed to fill myself up with my own love and what I was created in. I was created in love, therefore I am love, and it came out with the expression of hearts. So I started painting, etc. And then just moving forward to just last summer, Jessica talked about dreaming. I kept hearing voices from God saying, rent it and they will come. Rent it and they will come. I mean, like the field of dreams, right? Build it and they will come. Rent it and they will come. Rent it and they will come. I had a dream for years. I had visions of hosting an event that would empower people, mostly women, honestly. That was my demographic. And so, Dream Party, KC, happened last August on the 29th, because I said yes, and I put that event together in, I think, 4 weeks. Because I decided to leap and dream. Mr. Terrence here talked about acronyms. Dream stands for dare radiantly every day and moment. Okay, if you want to write that down. Dare radiantly every day and moment. Love, let optimal vibrations enter. Fear, forget everything and reframe. Forget everything and reframe. But I launched a dream of mine, Dream Party KC, and we're going to talk about being the ripple here in just a second. And the ripple started with that party. Jessica mentioned that she met Bren on LinkedIn. Jessica, the go-getter that she is, and one of my dear friends, tells Bren, hey, there's this event that I think you should come to. And then, through meeting Bren, she reaches out to me and says, hey, I've got this event. I'd love to have you be a part of it. So there's ripples everywhere. Shauna, I got to interview you for my show. I mean, Sarah, we've never met in person, but we've been friends on Facebook for how long, right? Tina, you've known me forever. Michelle, I mean, come on. That girl glows. So the ripple effect is real, okay? The ripple effect is real. And before we go through an exercise with that, I want to talk a little bit about the word become, throw out another acronym for you, okay? Because what did I say? That we were created in love, therefore we are love, and it is to honor our higher power, to use this divine gift. So how do we become that? Believe in your worth. A lot of people say, you hear them say, well, you need to know your worth. Shift it a little bit and use the word believe. Believe. Like that takes it to a cellular level. Like when I believe in my worth, it just makes your whole body shift. E, elevate. We talked a lot of the speakers today talked about elevating your mindset. Or raising that vibration. Elevate it. If something isn't working over here, and you're tired of being good, we heard that from Terrence, and you want to shift it to better, you've got to elevate. You've got to pay attention to the people that you're spending time with. You've got to pay attention to what you're telling yourself. You have to pay attention to your habits. If you're not getting up every single morning and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, and getting your head and mind, whether it's prayer, meditation, or writing in your journal, every morning, you're missing out. You are not elevating your mindset. Courage. Courage is a superpower. It is a superpower. Think about it. When you have courage, you can do anything and everything. You can move mountains. It's your superpower. Have the courage to ask that person out. Have courage to ask somebody, like Jessica said, if you want to be on stage, if that's one of your dreams, come talk to me. We'll figure it out. Have the courage to ask the question. And ask the right question. Ask the right question of yourself and then of others. O is own it, and I mean everything. I own all of this that's happened to me. It's nobody else's. 50% of any relationship is yours. And if that is, like my second marriage, I I knew on the second date we shouldn't go out any longer. But I stayed with him for 4 years and then married him for like, I don't know, a few months. I don't know. Doesn't matter, it's years ago. But I own that. I own the fact that I said yes to a third, fourth, fifth, and like 4 years. I own that. I own that I got in that car that night. But you know what? God wanted me to be here. He wanted me to live through that because I'm telling you, when I went to the salvage yard with my dad the next day, there was metal pointed down and it would have punctured my brain if I hadn't had my seatbelt on. So own it. Don't give it to anybody else. It's not theirs. It's yours. Stop pawning it off on people. M, move. Talk a lot about action, right? You've got to get up and move. If you're not getting up and moving in the direction that you want every single day, inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. So if you're not getting up every morning and just even moving a centimeter, either journaling, reaching out to the right people, dedicate 2 calls for your business a day. If you're not moving forward, you are not becoming. E, all of this means nothing if you don't do it with enthusiasm. Have fun in life. It's over. This part right here, this dot, for me, is getting closer and closer and closer. So if I'm not going out and having fun with enthusiasm, if I'm not having a great time, the law of attraction is real. You're not going to be attracting the right people. So have enthusiasm with who you are, what you love to do. If it's knitting, do it with enthusiasm. Giving hugs, do it with enthusiasm. Because what I said, right? We're created love, therefore we are love, and it's our job to give it away. Because then you're being selfish. So that's become. Believe, elevate, courage, own, and move, and last, do it with enthusiasm. So let's go back to the question now that we talked about become. What if you are the spark that ignites massive shifts in humanity? And that's the ripple, and let's talk about that for a second. You are unique. 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 Every single person in here is unique. The only things that we really share is this and this. So be the ripple. Sakoni talked about his son, saying that he was proud of his dad. People are watching. People are hungry for you to share your life with them. They're hungry for communication. They're hungry for someone to listen to them. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and we need to be listening. Listen to what we're being told, and listen to other people, because we just want to be seen and heard. Be the ripple for someone. I've had people say before, they're like, yeah, but I don't know if I really have a big enough rock. I just feel like, I'm not speaking on massive stages, or I haven't written that book. And I said, who cares? Did you smile at a stranger today? That's a ripple. And when I say massive shifts, think about it. You may have an interaction with somebody. Let's say you're checking out checking out with your groceries, and you have an interaction with your checkout person, and you just smile at them and treat them with kindness. I mean, come on, that's free, you guys. Give it away. You've placed a ripple. You've taken that ripple rock, which you all have one on your table. You've taken that and you've caused a ripple in their life. And they may be the one, because you smiled at them and treated them with kindness, they may have been ignited. You were the spark. They got ignited, and now maybe their purpose was to be an international speaker. That's your massive shift, because you smiled at someone and you treated them with kindness. You treated them with kindness and it was free. So please give yourself grace. We put so much pressure on ourselves to succeed in big business and have our bank accounts all full. It means nothing, because we can't take it with us. I think Denzel Washington said he's never seen a hearse with a U-Haul behind it. Seriously, right? You can't take these things with you. But when you ripple outward and you treat people with amazing kindness and with love, let optimal vibrations enter. And you treat them with love and kindness. It creates that massive shift, all because you had a spark. And let me just share one more thing, and it's scientific, actually. I took a course with Heart Math Institute, and it talked about, I don't know if anybody heard of them before, but they talked about the vibration of the heart. And they did a study, and they were curious to know how far does the vibrational, the beating of the heart with those vibrations, how far does that extend? Because how many of you walked into a room and you can tell the energy right away? It's either positive or it's negative. Exactly. I've turned around before. I'm like, oh, not today. I'm not giving them my, no. So with Heart Math Institute, they did a study, and they found that the vibration of the heart radiates outward 9 feet. Okay? So whoever, see, less than 9 feet with Ember and this whole wonderful table right here in this area right here. So whatever I'm feeling, wherever my heart is, it's being radiated outward to every person within 9 feet. So here's an interesting thing. The question was risen. Why do you say it's 9 feet? And the scientists said, we believe it's infinite. But our man-made tools only go out to 9 feet. So everyone, if you would please, stand up, grab your little organza bag that says Be the Ripple. Inside you will find just an ordinary rock. Is there anyone that didn't get one? Oh, okay. All right, so I want you to take it. There's 2 things in there, but we'll start out with the rock. I want you to hold it in your hand. I painted a heart on it, because I'm a heart girl. Oh, no. Thanks. Okay, so it's really just an ordinary river rock, right? Every day can be considered just a new beginning. But the way that we handle things, the way that we approach things, the things that we say, the way that we act, the vibrations from our heart make things extraordinary. So we're going to take this rock in with intention. I want you to hold it in your hand. And I want you to close your eyes. And through throughout, while you're breathing in oxygen, I want you to breathe in love and breathe out love. Breathe in all the love that this world has to offer you. And then let it mix up like liquid love, like a lava lamp throughout your entire body. And let that love grab your unique love. And mix it all in, and then when you blow it out and exhale, you're breathing out love, but this time it's super energized because it has your love in it. And with your rock, I want you to think about the ripple that you will create. And infuse all of your goodness, all of those heart vibrations into this ordinary rock and make it extraordinary, just like you. And when you feel ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. So that rock is just a symbol, but it's so much more. So keep it in your purse or whatever works. Also within your bag, I've put in what I call my wallet card. When I was going through this tick on my timeline, I went into a card shop and I bought an inspirational card when I was 19, and I kept it in my wallet all these years. I'm working towards 49, so it's a lot of wallets. But after I had left my second marriage, was really when I started getting into, tapping into who I was and discovering. And I actually wrote that, I was probably about 40. And I realized that I was gifted these words when I was 19 and kept it all these years, that I would create my own wallet card. And I print them all day long and I pass them out, and I consider that my ripple. The message is that you are never, never, never alone, ever. You're never alone. And if you need assistance let me just say one of my favorite people is Maya Angelou, and I cried the day she died. I mean, that woman's voice, holy moly. And if you haven't seen her YouTube video on love, and how love liberates, look it up. But I saw an interview with her, and she was asked a question. She said, well, what does someone do if they don't have the means to make, let's say, dreams happen? She sits very calmly. She's got her dark glasses on. And she says in the voice that only she possesses, and I'm not even going to try because it makes me melt every time. She goes, find it. If you don't have the money, find someone that does. If you don't have the education, find someone that does. There are people in this world, and I know this room is full of them, that are here to help you. They're here to make a ripple in your life. You just have to open your mouth and make the ask. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to raise my hand first, and I guarantee there's going to be others. If you need help, ask me. I'll be the first one to help you. And if I don't know, raise your hand. If I don't know how to help you, I will help you find someone to help you. Okay? Have the courage, use it as your superpower to be the ripple in someone's life and be the spark that ignites massive shifts in all humanity. Yeah. Doesn't that feel good? It feels so good. And to think that the vibration and the love that we were created with is infinite. It's infinite. And when we fill ourselves up and when we go out and share our light, man, there's a lot of ripples happening. So I was going to do a painting exercise, but I kind of flow with things, and I've got one more thing I'd like you to do. Now that we've breathed in love, and we've breathed out love, and you know what it takes to become the best version of yourself, because this has been an amazing weekend, right? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, if anybody's cup was empty, it's overflowing now. And if it isn't, raise your hand, because I'll come fill you up. Everyone's getting one of my love notes. It's painted, it's hand-painted by myself, it's got a stamp on it, and you're going to write a love note to yourself. And then you're going to self-address the envelope. You're going to seal it with love. We're going to take them all from you, and in 3 days' time, I'm going to send them out in the mail, and then wherever you are, you'll get it within days. Then you can read it again. And if you wish, the heart actually fits in a 3.5 by 5 frame. So you could frame it if you wanted and just keep your note on the wall. Or leave it out. Some people leave it out and they read it. So everyone's getting one of these. And I think you can just go ahead and start. If you feel compelled to write now, let's just write. And just keep putting pen to paper and let that love flow.